Good evening, folks. Happy Monday. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, Khader lawsuits, tax help, and who's taking down the signs. As well as let's go over some more of the developers who are paying Nick Spanos, Empire Strategic Planning, who are also donating to elected officials to get favors. Join me.
Freddy.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Happy Monday. Today is March 27th, 2023. It's going by fast, isn't it? Let me show my hair. Good evening, folks. How you doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Earlier today, I was at CVS, where I like to go get my Rubbo, go to the post office, and I started to see all this dust, this cloud of dust that was just spreading everywhere. So I wanted to see where it was coming from, and it's coming from that development over there. The 44 Hudson development, the one that they want, wasn't going to get approved initially, right? They have to get rid of some members of the zoning board, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm filming this because I see this dust, and it's getting all over the place, and people have complained that it's gotten on their cars, it was getting on my clothes, on my phone, and it's very thick, you can actually, breathe it, you can feel that it's going, And so as soon as they see me videoing, they stop. And then they start filming me. And I would imagine that once I left, they started back up. But they did know they were doing something wrong because they stopped, and also they changed the way they were doing it. Now, that dust is not healthy, I would imagine, especially because of, the way the sensation was when you were breathing it, when I was breathing it in, the way it just, was starting to layer on my coat there and my phone and everything. And I said, that's not good. And I looked something up here, and yeah, you have to be careful for construction dust, right? And I'm just caring about the folks there around that area. There's kids. Construction dust, causes and effects and remedies. Construction dust can seriously damage the health of construction workers, and if exposed for longer times, can eventually kill them. That's construction dust, right? And then construction dust can cause serious damage to workers' health and life-threatening diseases. Construction workers can be exposed to many types of dust, such as silica, wood, and lead dust. Workplace exposure to small particles of silica dust, also known as respirable crystalline silica, can lead to serious diseases, including silicosis, a progressive lung disease. Just some stuff there. And I don't know, listen, I'm no expert, but I just know that shouldn't be like that, right? Dust mitigation techniques. The most common methods for controlling demolition dust are surface wetting, and airborne capture. And so later on that day, someone sent me pictures. They connected a hose to the fire hydrant there, a big hose that they had not had before. They had a smaller one there, but a bigger one. And I would imagine that that's what they were doing. They were spraying it because they're supposed to spray water as they're doing that. So that way that it doesn't produce that much dust. It's wet, it becomes dense, it's not all dust, and it just, falls to the ground. So they are spraying water on it now, but they knew they were doing something wrong. That's not okay. They're putting people's health at risk. And now are they paying for the water? Because people's water bills are going up, right? So I just wanted to mention that. But I also want to mention that the shop right here I'm hearing is closing down. So I was right. I said the Shoprite would be closing down. I heard that there'd be a Whole Food, but I'm also hearing that they need it for the parking lot of 44 Hudson View Terrace, that building that's going to be going up there, if you don't know. And that wasn't going to be approved, almost wasn't approved. Again, there's a whole scandal with that in which they got certain individuals removed from the zoning board. And according to sources, very reliable sources, Wilson Kimball, the CEO of Municipal Housing, who is now the chair of the zoning board, who's married to James Kavanaugh, the president of the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, and I'll get into that in a minute, got them removed, and then they went ahead and approved it. Initially, it was going to be 27 stories. They brought it down to 25 stories. That was the beginning of changing the zoning laws and going higher and higher. And then you had the Teutonia, 40 stories. I'll get into that in a minute. And then you very recently heard of the two towers, the Yonkers Twin Towers, the two 32-story towers that they want to put on Woolworth, eliminating a business that will eliminate jobs, blocking people's view so they can put this up. And so that was Wilson Kimball, I hear, getting these individuals removed. And it was done in such a disrespectful way after giving so many years, over 30 years of their time, their life for free. It's a volunteer position. They were pushed out without notified just so they can get this project approved. And now Wilson made her way to the position of the chair, and everything is becoming, approved. All the zoning laws are changing. 7-0, 7-0. No one's questioning anything anymore. They put in a young boy. They got Wilson. They got Hector Lopez, who's does he know what's going on there? And others, and it's just 7-0, 7-0. But are these changes good for the community? Are they good for the people who live there? Or do we not care about them? They're going to push them out. They're taking out the Shoprite. What does that mean? So from sources, reliable sources, employees of the Shoprite, I'm hearing that they are closing down. They have to make way for a parking lot there. Can you post a full decision on the Khader case? Yeah, I'll do that in a second. I was trying to load it up. I just couldn't get it the way I had it in the format that it was. I was trying to get it though because I wanted to show it. Where will people shop for food? Well, I heard that they might be putting a Whole Foods there. I don't know how true that is. But like someone was saying, those folks, they go on the train, they go to work in the city. They may even shop for food there and come up with their groceries and then just come to Yonkers to live. So they may not need a supermarket there, right? Who knows? So if you're concerned about that, definitely. Mike Khader lawsuit. I'm not sure, what's going on there. They finally got a little decision going on. Let me read what I was sent. I thought that they agreed to pay for his pay for his Rubbo. You continue to harass me by use of electronic devices. I'm sorry. I just got a text from Rubbo. He says, I continue to harass him through electronic devices. Mind you, the guy is posting about me and commenting about me every day with Brian Harrod. I'm sorry, I'm going through my text messages here. Rubbo, then stop talking about me. I don't get it. Okay. So I'll try to get it up there. I think I put a picture of some of it up there. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the entire thing. I wanted to because I would have to screenshot everything there. So again, Mike Khader is suing the city. He's suing the mayor, all the city council members. He's suing Rose Press Inc., which is the printing company that is used by pretty much all the candidates to get a lot of all their marketing stuff, their printing materials. A lot of the campaign money goes to Rose Press Inc., and I've shown you that stuff on the campaign website. He's because obviously they printed the nasty literature. He's suing a woman by the name of Roseanne Gallego. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Gallego. She is listed as the person that filed for the Committee for a Better Yonkers. Remember, I went through the Committee for a Better Yonkers. That was that committee funded by all those developers, real estate attorneys, and all that. They used that money and that organization or that committee to attack Mike Khader and get rid of him. So he's suing them also. He's suing the Committee for a Better Yonkers as well. Does that include all the people that donated, which includes Jeff Buss, which is the law firm that he supposedly was getting free rent from? I mean, free office space from. You see, it wasn't the actual landlord, but he was subleasing from Jeff Buss, Smith Buss Jacobs, the law firm. And they said that his little area where he had been keeping stuff, he was being provided that for free in exchange for a contract that he gave to Smith Buss Jacobs with the city, or for the city to do legal stuff. $70,000 contract. But what about all this other quid quo pro that I'm going to get into here in a minute, right? It just doesn't make sense. And it's so blatant. And the DA, the Westchester County DA, is involved in this. Like, she's now investigating. What are you investigating? Look at the leases. Speak to the landlord of the building. Speak to Smith Buss Jacobs. And there's an interesting letter that Smith Buss, Jeff Buss, wrote to Liam McLaughlin and the city council, or Liam McLaughlin actually, stating that he received a call from a council member apologizing for throwing them under the bus, no pun intended. But they were put under political pressure in order to create this lie so they can put Mike Khader under investigation and keep him from running for mayor. That's really what that was about, because they needed to assure that Mike Spano would get another 4 years. They needed him in position in order to be able to sell the favors, right? So that's what they needed to assure the developers who had invested so much already, buying up property to do projects in areas that they cannot do those projects because of the zoning laws. But they knew that Wilson Kimball would make it happen. The Spanos have faith in her, but the Spanos had to remain in office, and that's what they're trying to do now, remain in office so they can continue to curry these favors. They've probably already received a lot of money up front. They're not going to give that back, right? They're not giving back the advance. And built me a pool house. Nick Spano built a pool house, I hear. He bought the property next door just to make it a pool house. So business is good in Yonkers. Business is good for lobbying companies. So there's Mike Khader suing him. And he's pointing over to the Ludlow project, but he also wants them to pay for his legal fees. The court reviewed the following papers in consideration of this application for dismissal of petitioner's claim for relief pursuant to Article 78 of the Civil Practice Law and Rules. Motion 1, petition. I don't know what that means. Motion, notice of petition, affirmation to support, Exhibit 1 through 36. Motion 2. CPLR challenging respondent's action in denying his claim for legal fees connected with his representation in the matter pursuant to public officers law. Respondents by the instant motion have moved to dismiss the underlying Article 78 proceeding under the law there, and for the reasons discussed herein, the motion is denied. Petitioner is the former city council president of the city of Yonkers. The Inspector General for the city of Yonkers commenced an investigation into petitioner at the request of other city council members in May of 2021, while petitioner was still in office. So he got screwed by his own people. Tasha Diaz, Sinead Williams. They screwed him. Corazon. These are Democrats that screwed a Democrat. They threw him under the bus. They threw him, to the wolves, right? They fed him to the wolves. Liam McLaughlin was the guy he beat to become the city council president. Remember, that guy was funded heavily by these developers. I showed you, Joseph Simone, a guy that's hired Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning. Gave a lot of money to Liam McLaughlin when he was running for city council president, but Mike Khader won. Why did Mike Khader win? Because at the time he had Mr. Zahi Jeris behind him. I'm just giving it to you honest, guys. This is the real story. This is the truth. Nothing but the truth. And so he got him in there. But Zahi Jeris knew that his bread and butter was not his cousin, Mr. Mike Khader. His bread and butter was Nick Spano. And so once he got back into politics after coming out of jail for political corruption, extortion, and bribery, let's not forget. Remember, he got Sandy Anabi sent to jail for 6 years. She was the former city council majority leader, Democrat. Zahi at the time was the Republican chair. Out of jail, gets his cousin in there, gets Dan Romano elected to city court judge. Then he gets Tasha Diaz in there. He's rocking and rolling. And so they can't deny his ability to get individuals elected to office. But he's a schemer. And he does a lot of different tricks to get that done. And so I hear the Spanos are a little concerned with that. So they'd rather be friends. And so together they worked to get rid of Mike Khader because they knew that Khader was going to go for mayor of Yonkers. And they couldn't have that happen as Khader wasn't going to go along with the plan. And so they found Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, well, Wilson Kimball, that's the connection there, to Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, city council president who was working or still is working at Macy. They got her to run against Mike Khader. I mean, they just wanted anybody in there, and a black woman would make it more difficult for Mike Khader, right? It's identity politics. It's what Zahi Jarris does best. They did that with Data Medina. That's a whole nother story. And so they used this identity politics, the black woman, right? The Obama play got her elected. I mean, Vinny Spano himself said that she did nothing. They had to, do all the work. This is Vinny Spano, what he told me. And so, they just wanted to get Mike Khader out. And I'm just being honest. They're telling lies. I'm going to be telling truths. From the desk of Brian Harrod. Thanks, Brian Harrod, for this podcast. He sponsored it. Yonkers Newswire, by the way, sponsored this podcast. And so Lakeisha was in there. They got Mike Khader out using dirty tactics. So now he's suing. And what's messed up is that Corazon, Shanae Williams, Tasha Diaz, they were supposed to be cool with Khader, but they turned out to be Khader haters. Tasha Diaz was even in his house with his family, the very family that they attacked to get him out of there. The guy, Zahi Jarris, that has this affection for Tasha, as he told me. He likes to see people come from nothing to be something. That's what he said over at Fogarty's. Just before I asked him, did he get her to change her vote to flip-flop on the housing ordinance? He said, no. I don't tell my candidates how to vote. I let them do what they want. I don't know if it was what the mayor said. This is what he said. Just before they went to vote that day, when they failed to override the mayor's veto. That's what he said. Did the mayor influence them? I don't know. But Khader's out and he's suing, and they needed to make sure that he was out for good. And so they got this investigation launched on Mike Khader based off an article written in the Yonkers Tribune, a newspaper or news page that a judge ruled was not a journalism page, and that Hezi Aris was not a journalist. This was the result of a lawsuit that was levied against him by Keith Olson of the Yonkers PBA, based on articles he was writing. Yet and still, based on this article, a letter was written to the council. And based off that letter written to the council, they wrote a letter to Liam McLaughlin to launch an investigation into Mike Khader. Democratic majority. This is a Democrat. They're going to send him to the wolves, his former nemesis, a Republican. They knew what they were doing. And so the whole setup was in. Zahi Jarris' wife was working in his office. She was a mold. She would then take a leave of absence after this all started, claiming, I guess a work environment that was, not good towards women, a hostile work environment, excuse me. And someone even wrote an email to Mike Khader, one of the women that worked for him, stating that the environment that he created in his office was not good, and she had a hard time. But no one knew about this email except the woman that emailed him and Mike Khader. But for whatever reason, our city council president somehow knew to foil this email. And so she sent the FOIA request for this email. There goes that old FOIA request game that they play. And who's at the head of that FOIA request game? Well, Mr. Vincent Spano, the city clerk. Just like he wanted me to foil some stuff on Anthony DiMaggio. He told me exactly what to foil and where to send the email to. So it's no surprise that Mr. Rubbo from Yonkers Voice is able to get videos and other things, and Lakeisha can submit a FOIA request for something that nobody even knows exists except for two people, and she's not one of them. Wouldn't be the first time she was a psychic. Because it's a game, it was a setup. And so they got him out. But why did you guys sign that letter? City Council, Corazon, Tasha, Shanae, Democratic majority, you should have pulled him to the side and said, hey, Mike, this is what we got. We got this letter. What's going on? But no, you fed him to the wolves. And so here he is now, lawsuit, not running for mayor, bogged down with it. And the city of Yonkers, the taxpayers are footing the bill. 2 years now, we've been footing the bill for this investigation that's bogus, that I hear Moranti, I hear a second letter actually was written. Something was wrong with the first one. I don't know. They drafted a second letter and sent that to Leah McLaughlin, but Moranti did not sign that one. So it's not all of the council members on the second letter. Not sure why. But Moranti refused to sign. But it's messed up that Corazon did that. Why? Because she knew that she would want to run for mayor. Tasha Diaz, she was part of the CJ Spano team, and so is Shanae. And we've seen other people mention that about Shanae. I've shown you that Zahi Jarris has called up people, Democrats, throughout Westchester on behalf of Shanae. And so that's their team. And so now he's suing. So, I wish Mike Khader the best. This is a bogus investigation. It's costing the taxpayer lots of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably upwards of $600,000, because they're using outside attorneys, investigators, counsel, and all that stuff. Meanwhile, we have our own counsel here that are getting paid also taxpayer money. And so money being blown away on nonsense like this, yet our kids can't get the proper sports program. Programs are cut because no funding. But they can fund this. They can fund studies for developers. So I'll be posting up the full lawsuit when I'm able to. And traffic. As soon as this light turned green, the green arrow, do you think we were able to make the left? No way, Jose. And it's only going to get worse. This is Ashburn Avenue, looking west. And they're going to be building a studio not too far from there and a bunch more apartments at the end of it. So just wait on it, folks. So let's go. Empire Strategic Planning. Let's talk about these connections here, right? Pay to play. They talk about Quick Quote Pro. Again, want to mention that this podcast is sponsored by Brian Harrod at the Yonkers Newswire. Pay to play. Quick Quote Pro. It's like a triangle here. Empire Strategic Planning represents many names that you should be familiar with, like the Yonkers CLSA, Captains, Lieutenants, Sergeants Association. How much are they paying Nick Spano to represent them? $1,000 a month. Oh, pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Mike Hanley there's the one that signed the contract. Giving you guys a break. Not bad. And we know that the Yonkers CLSA has contributed over and over to candidates like Mike Spano and others affiliated with the Yonkers Democratic Party, because basically that's the party that's controlled by Zahi Jarris for the most part, and the Spano team for the most part. You have a small percentage, I think, that's controlled by Eileen O'Connor and the Indivisible crew that didn't make the right decision. Guys didn't make the right decision. Picked the wrong horse. Though I don't like to consider myself a horse. More like a lion. I ain't lying. The plant powerhouse. Anybody recognize the plant powerhouse? Can anyone recognize the plant? Anyone know what that is? That's the Layla Gorin group, the developers that bought the power plant that have yet to develop it. Remember, they wanted to turn JFK Marina into a parking lot? She created this whole proposal that they are going to put this climate change research facility there along with a concert hall. Does that make sense? With a floating stage that would move from one side of the plant to the other. Does that make any sense? They have no intentions of renovating that plant. They're going to knock it down and build luxury townhomes. Who wants to bet me? $1. I'll take it. And so she put this proposal up as if they're going to renovate this historic building and do climate change studies there and have climate change initiatives there, because there was a lot of grant money for people who were doing something in regards to climate change. So she got a lot of grant money from the government, AKA taxpayer money. To do what? To pay people to go out into the community. A lot of consultants, right? Guys and gals knocking on doors. And some of you out there know what I'm talking about. You were one of them. Some of you didn't get paid, I hear. The money ran out. The grant money ran out. She was getting people to go out there, knock on doors, and get them to the community to be for this idea that she was proposing. They were going to have a concert there, and the first act was going to be, I forgot who it was, but it was an act that I don't know if anyone in Yonkers would have been truly interested in, regardless of color. And so Layla Gorin is definitely a contributor. $10,000 to the Friends of Kathy Hochul. Nice, a lot of money there, Kathy's. How do you got the grant money? Yonkers, $1,000 to campaign to elect John Rubbo, the chair of the real estate committee. 2019, $1,000 to the Friends of Michael Sabatino. And she's donated elsewhere under other names. I've seen it. I'm just not going to go through it for the sake of time. But she's a contributor. And she's bought real estate here in the city of Yonkers. The Yonkers PBA, the Police Benevolent Association, also paying Nick Spano out of you guys' union fees, you police officers out there. How much is the union paying this Empire Strategic Planning? $2,000 monthly. Oh man, CLSA, get a better deal. Come on, Keith, you're paying $1,000 more than Mike. Mike is a better negotiator than you, Keith? I'm just kidding, Keith. Just joking. Sure, he does a lot more for you guys than he does for CLSA. Y'all didn't do nothing from Anthony DiMaggio, that's for sure. No lobbying. And you guys lobby Empire Strategic Planning? Maybe you guys will lobby for Anthony. And so, as I've shown you before, the Yonkers PBA, they donate a lot of money to a lot of the elected officials here in the city of Yonkers. They endorse candidates. Remember when they did About Face and endorsed Lakeisha instead of Mike Khader? Or why do you think that happened? Because they are represented by Nick Spano. They donate. And they get what they want for their members or for their presidents. Yonkers Uniform Fire Officers Association, fire union. Everybody's paying. That's how you got the pool house. $1,000 monthly. And what are they doing? What are they lobbying for? What's actually happening? Right? I mean, are you guys ever interested in that? State Bill S6367, Governor's Council. All right, let's see what that is. Direct lobbying. How about that? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see what they're actually doing. Right? I mean, I'm going to be fair. Got to be fair. Enacts the American Made Flag Act to require that American flags purchased for the U.S. for use by the state government be made in the United States. What does that have to... Really? Okay. All righty. If you say so. If you say so. That does have to do with the Yonkers Fire Department. Okay. All right. That's S6367 state bill. S6367 state bill. Okay. All righty. Whatever you say. Sure. Trinity Associates. Anybody here Trinity Associates? They contribute a lot. $1,000 here to Mike Spano. $500 to Ken Jenkins. And they've contributed under other names. They'll do Trinity Associates or Trinity LLC. And just again, for the sake of time, I won't go through all of them. Just know that they contribute to a lot of the elected officials. Mike Spano, the brother of Nick Spano. And here they are with a contract themselves. They're actually working on a project currently. And I'll show you that in a minute. They're paying is it 2,000? Oh, yeah, 2,000 monthly. Just want to be sure, not 20, 2,000 monthly. And they are, where did I put that up? Where did I put that at? I wanted to show you the, well, they're doing something on McLean. I believe they're doing either senior building or affordable building on McLean. Oh, here we go. What's wrong with me? So again, so they pay Nick Spano. They donate to elected officials. So when they come before the zoning board for their proposals or the planning board, they get the approval that they're seeking, regardless of what it is. It was the Trinity Associates one. I don't know where I saw that. I don't know where I put that at. I wanted to show you what address they were. Trinity Associates here. I'll just do this. I think somebody was complaining about this one. Yes, new affordable housing project for seniors coming to McLean. I think that's this right here. A new low-income housing development dedicated to seniors coming to 345 McLean Ave. The tower will be home to 105 units and numerous amenities. Among the floor plans in the 12-story building will be studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments with 53 parking spaces. And so they pay to play. The developer versus Development of Pleasantville is a subsidiary, of Trinity Associates and has sought numerous variances from the Yonkers Zoning Board of Appeals. So have sought numerous changes and approvals to, the zoning laws. From the aforementioned parking space capacity to the amount or lack thereof of setback from the streets. Versus Development is also scheduled to receive $56.8 million in benefits from the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency for this housing project. How do you think they made that happen? Let's see how powerful Elaine O'Connor is with her candidate Corazon Pineda. Can she get money and votes from the LGBT community to elect the first Latina of color mayor that hasn't done a whole lot? That has sided with the mayor and everything? That's a big reason why we are here where we at today? $6,000 per month just from the 4 police and fire unions in Yonkers. Nice money for doing nothing. Absolutely. That's a lot of money. And I mean, if you go through all the clients, millions of dollars, caking it. And what did he do for the firemen? Oh, they lobbied for the bill to assure that flags that are flown by the state capitol buildings or on state property, on state grounds, are made in the U.S. What does that have to do with fire? Are they more fire, resistant? And so that's a waste of money. And so Trinity Associates, they get city projects. They donate to candidates like you see there. They get tax breaks to the tune of $56.8 million from the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, where Nick Spano's brother, the mayor, Mike Spano, sits as the chair, where Nick's Spano's sister-in-law, Jamie McGill Spano, is the executive director. No qualifications needed, I hear. No show job, I hear. And I'm going to probably get Brian Harrod on his Yonkers Newswire to attack me tomorrow about this. I'm sure he'll put my wife and myself. So I'm going to start calling it out before it happens so you guys will see. Right, folks? Let's start calling the guy out on that. I mean, my poor wife, I love her. They're really going to, But I'm hoping the people got my back. And so they're shorting the city of Yonkers. They're taking away from us. This primarily consists of a 30-year tax abatement. 30 years. Meanwhile, they're lying to us and saying, oh, well, the tax abatements have got, it's not as much, the terms are not as long. The only reason any union pays ESP is to try to get a good contract with the city. That's right. They strong arm them. And then they wait also to the elections so they can endorse the candidate that they want. Again, remember the unions doing an about face and supporting Lakeisha Collins Bellamy instead of Mike Khader. To the black people of the city of Yonkers and black brothers and sisters, and to the Hispanics, we're being sold out by our own people. You know how that goes, guys. It's always those that sell us out. Selling us out because they're going to be good. And so there you go. More pay to play, I should say. Quid Quo Pro, Trinity Associates getting a $56.8 million tax abatement for 30 years from the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. They pay Empire Strategic Planning. They contribute to the elected officials that are in office now. It's the same as paying protection money to the mob. 1,000%. I don't know how this is even allowed. It's got to be one or the other. Either Nick Spano's going to operate with his Empire Strategic Lobbying Company here in the city of Yonkers and have an impact, right? Represent the developers doing business here, and his mayor's not, and his brother can't be the mayor, or his brother's going to be the mayor and he can't operate here at all. No, shell companies or none of that. No subsidiaries, none of that. You can't operate at all. At all. What's the next one on my list? AMS acquisitions. AMS acquisitions. Let's talk about AMS acquisitions. These guys are the big boys. Big boys. They're the ones building the big Teutonia, 900 units. They're the ones doing all of Chicken Island. represented by Empire Strategic Planning, of course. Also the landlords of John Rubbo, councilman for the 4th District, who is the chair of the Real Estate Committee. I mean, you know, the opposition to these projects, to these developments, stand no chance. They're paying $5,000 monthly. Michael Mitnick. State funding, economic development, you see? So he's lobbying for these guys to get funding for the state, taxpayer money, so they can do their luxury developments. The people that have to pay for this, for some of the money they receive, can't even afford them. These guys get richer and richer. I mean, you buy a whole house just to make it a pool house next to your house, while people are struggling to stay in their apartments. Enough is enough. You got your money. Lobbying for economic funding. I mean, for economic development funding from the state. Taxpayer money. This is grant money. Taxpayer money. So they can get richer. They're going to lie and say, we're going to put X amount of affordable housing units, and then the local laws are changed or not changed, and they stay the same. And then they allow them to maneuver around it, loopholes where they don't actually even have to abide by the law that exists now. And they put the money into an affordable housing trust fund where they then get it back. They get it back for their other properties, which they say they're going to use to renovate their property, and they're going to put affordable units in there, but they don't. I'm exposing how these people do this, people. I know these guys, how to, you know, I may not know their specific thing, and I'm learning, but I understand how to move money around. They know how to move money around. That's what rich people do. They know how to move money around. So you can't find it. You don't know where it's at. So you can take money that's not supposed to go to you, but somehow you make it go to you. And it looks all legit. Has to travel through 2 or 3, maybe 4 companies before it gets into your bank account. Think of that clusters. That income tax statement I showed you. Why is it that most money that they receive goes to salaries, other compensation and benefits, other employee compensation and benefits? And they use that to get free 401k pensions, health insurance, traveling, $47,000. Where you going? Don't you guys just do stuff in Yonkers? I mean, come on. Enough is enough of that. Enough is enough. So they're building this big Teutonia. Of course, they're going to get their 900-unit luxury apartment approved. Of course, they are only going to be allowed to, or they're going to be allowed to get away with only 5% instead of the required 10% as it stands now. This is AMS. AMS is powerful. They're spending a lot of money. They're doing all of Chicken Island, Teutonia, 900 units, North Broadway, Lockwood, Locust Hill up there. Where did I just go? Where did the Teutonia just go? Of course, they're spending a lot of money. They're going to build 5 luxury buildings in Chicken Island alone. This is the Teutonia project here. Is it just not going to, am I not going to see nothing else here? In progress? I don't get to see anything else. What's this? Oh, here we go. $181 million project. Teutonia Buena Vista is a $181 million investment in new construction of 412 units. They haven't even updated their website. They're getting tax abatements from the YIDA. And they're also getting money from state funding, state grant money from the state through Nick Spano's lobbying. And they're getting whatever property they want through Nick Spano's lobbying of the mayor, Wilson Kimball, over at the zoning board, whose husband is a partner with Nick Spano at Empire Strategic Planning, says it there. I've shown that also, but is also the president of the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. And so why do you think the affordable housing did not pass? Remember, Corazon was playing the game. She was with the mayor at first. Whatever the mayor said, Corazon said. He said, I could do maybe 13, 14, maybe 15%. Corazon saying the same thing. Then all of a sudden, she was for 20. Everybody was for 20. They got it passed because they knew the mayor was going to veto it. So do you enjoy being lied to? If you don't, it's time you vote for new officials. Don't vote them for any position. None whatsoever. A high rise for the elderly. God forbid there's a fire. That would be disastrous. And also they're making them now with plywood and all that. And although they say that's safe, I don't know. Not a big fan of that. How is that not a conflict of interest? Psh, I'm trying to, that's the one thing I can't figure out. You know, out of all of this stuff that's going on here, the one thing that I have not been able to figure out is how do they get away with it? That I can't figure out. Not even an understanding of it. I don't even have a theory, let alone know how to get away with it. Never forget Teutonia Hall or who knocked it down so they can build this Teutonia Hall. But it's not going to be only 412. It's going to be 900 apartments, and they're going to only make 45 units affordable. Not even 10%. And where's the rest of the money going to go? And they pay Nick Spano $5,000 a month for that. Guys, remember DeBello? Donnellan? They've been around for a long time. They also represent Ginsburg, Extel. Extel's building 7 luxury developments there next to the Avalon where the MTA bus depot was. They got the bus depot up out of there. $5,000 monthly. This organization, DeBello and Donnellan, they work with Empire Strategic Planning. They are also big-time donors. Al DeBello. It's the Al DeBello. $15,000 to Andrew Cuomo, and I showed this before. Let's look at the Yonkers folks. Mike Spano, $5,000. Chuck Lesnick, $2,500. Mike Spano, another $2,500. So again, this guy's donate. And they're involved in the lobbying game with Extel, Empire Strategic Planning, Hutch Management, which is Joseph Simone, who's also got contracts with Empire Strategic Planning. But they work together even though it doesn't say Empire Strategic Planning. Don't get it twisted. So again, as they say, how is that not illegal? And so remember, DeBello, right? Here we go. 316 North Broadway and 315 Palisade Avenue. So they go before the Zoning Board of Appeal for variance. You think they're going to get it or they're not going to get it? Of course they're going to get it. Of course they get whatever they want. They get whatever they want. They're playing the game. They're playing the game. And so there we go. Wilson Kimball, chairperson, who was investigated by the New York State Inspector General for misappropriation of funds while at the Battery Park Authority. Is there any misappropriation of funds at municipal housing? A lot of people are having trouble there. They're pushing a lot of people. Tell them to get out of Yonkers. Take your voucher and go to Greenburgh, go to White Plains. Get out of here. They're making sure that the investors don't really give them, the apartments, even though their voucher gives them enough money. Another one that's another big donor, Corto Shorts and Corto, 345 McLean Avenue. You think they're going to get whatever they want when they come before Wilson Kimball? Of course. Of course. They pay to play. They pay to play. And that's what's unfortunate here, because at the end of the day, the people of the city of Yonkers are the ones that lose. We lose. We are the ones that lose here. And so you can go up to the city website. You can look at all these meetings and the minutes, see what was said, who was there, what attorneys represented who. It's very important. And, you know, and you got to look at them because they try to get rid of them as soon as possible. You know, they don't, well, you should be able to go back. There should be some kind of, archive where you can go back, but they don't have the archive. They don't want people to go back. So let's take a look. Oh, okay. So who do we have now? So initially the chair was Joseph Cianciulli or whatever. Harry Singh, who's still there. Jeffrey Landsman, no, he's no longer there. Hector Lopez, still there. Wilson Kimball, she's now the chair. Madam Chair. Vincent Giorgio, Giorgio, he's no longer there. So they got rid of, I'm going to do deductive. I'm going to deduce Jeffrey Landsman's gone, and Vincent Giorgio, or Vincent Gio, what is that? How you say his name? Giorgio are gone, and so is Joseph. But they sent Joseph, the chairman, off in a nice, ceremony. So he's not one of the guys that was just booted off without being told. So I guess it was Jeffrey Landsman and Vincent Giorgio. Okay, these two guys, because Hector Lopez is still there, Harry Singh is still there. Jeffrey and Vincent got replaced by the young kid Anthony Jalaj, whose father is an investor, owns 470 Nepahan, CCNA Realty. And then I guess they got another person in there. All right. That's some Jeffrey Landsman. Man, but wow, they did that to you, Jeffrey and Vincent. You guys found out while watching them appoint the new people. That's how you found out that you were no longer on the board. Wow. That's bad. That's messed up. After 30-some years you guys gave. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so that's definitely something we should look into. Folks, a lot of these zoning law changes and developments that they're approving are illegal. They shouldn't be approved just because they like them. They think they look cute. The building is nice. Doesn't mean you approve it. There's a reason why they got rid of those two individuals. They wouldn't approve every proposal and every development that came before them. However, they had to. Many of these developers are paying Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning. That's what they pay us for. That's what they donate to my candidates for. You have to approve it. Wilson, get that guy out of there. Get those two out of there. See you later. Bring in other people, just whoever. People that are not going to say anything, go along, whatever. All right. Hey, Anthony, you want to go on the board? Yeah, all right. You look good. You all right? Come on, get on there. Hey, you, whoever you are, you want to get on? Yeah, get on there. Do whatever you say. 70, 70, 70. Everything is getting passed now. See, you got the power plant here. 45 Water Grant Street. That's Layla Gorin. Ginsburg. Andrew Magniglia. On behalf of Gnome One, who owns that company? Locust Hill, 57. Gnome One, LLC. Who could that be? Countrywide Transportation also is a client. Just wanted to let you know that. Well, anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I just wanted to show you some of these developers that are paying Empire Strategic Planning that are also, again, I'm going to be going through them just to show you the pay to play scheme that's going on here in the Yonkers, the pay to play scheme. Doesn't matter what you folks think. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what you want. Doesn't matter if your health is being affected. They're paying. You're not paying. They're paying. Tasha's going to do what they want. That's why they killed the Affordable Housing Ordinance. They didn't override the mayor's veto. They set up a trick play. Pass it. Hey, mayor's going to veto it, and then we're not going to override the veto. And remember how long it took for them to do that, to get to that point? People are wondering, are they going to override it? They can. They dragged it along. They're playing everybody here in the city of Yonkers. They're playing you. They're playing you. They're getting paid to play you. That's all part of pay to play. And so this is what I want to show you folks. And again, I'm going to continue to show because a lot of people don't want these developments going up. Let's take a look at the 32-story towers, the 32-story towers that are going to be going up. We'll take a look at that. Let's take a look at that development or that building that they want to put up over there by Lake Avenue in the Hill. Who's involved in that? And how much are they contributing? Are they paying Nick Spano also? So think about that business model. Think about that business model. I mean, that's a great business model, right? People pay you to get things done in Yonkers. You go to your brother and say, hey, this is what we need done. And it gets done. And so people know. And they're not paying you $100. They're not paying you $200. They're paying you $2,000, $5,000. And some were even paying $10,000 and $15,000 that I've seen a month to Empire Strategic Planning. And so they're taking advantage of all these developments. And so that's what the fourth term is about. And they don't like me saying this. They've been attacking me. They're doing everything they can to hurt me, trying to stop me at my business, keeping me from being able to fully operate. Well, not even I am fully operating. I could do that, but fully get paid, I should say, because while I can operate with the license I have now, I can't get paid by the state until I have the full license complete. It's a temporary thing while we're working on this because we're like in limbo. They got to the landlord that owns the building. You know, she was so nice to us, you know, very nice lady, you know, but I'm sure that they're messing with that poor woman. She's older. She doesn't want any problems. She'd rather just get me out and my wife out. She's got other buildings here in the city of Yonkers. And so that's what they're doing to her. There's no doubt in my mind that they are messing with her. They've given her some kind of like ultimatum, you know, make sure these people don't stay there. And that's the hell that I've been receiving because I have been speaking the truth. I have been doing this podcast to inform you, the people of the city of Yonkers, to things that many of you did not know was happening. Many of you cannot even believe that it's happening, but it is. And I've been attacked. My family's been attacked viciously, and we still get attacked on a daily basis by a gentleman by the name of Brian Harrod, Rubbo and the Yonkers Voice, the both of them. They'll have conversations daily about me, you know, and that's just to incite me into, you know, they want me to take the bait, get all crazy, but I'm not. It is what it is. I've accepted it. At the end of the day, you know, I still have a beautiful life, have a beautiful wife, beautiful kids, you know, and I'm sorry that, you know, you guys are bitter, Brian and Rue, right? But as long as I got that, guys, I don't need this, you know, to do a podcast to make money and stuff like that. So, you know, this is not why I do it, you know, and I know you guys are being, you know, paid to do that. Rue, I'm sorry. I'm apologizing to you. I'm sorry that I called you a pedophile, you know, but you fondled a little girl. And maybe I shouldn't have just called you a pedophile like that. I should have just kept it in my mind and said, he's a pedophile, stay away from him. And I shouldn't have got loud with you on the street. That was not good of me. You know, I stooped down to a level that I was not proud of myself, which is why I deleted the video, right? That was unbecoming of me. That's not someone who I want to be. And that's what they try to do. They try to provoke you. They try to make you take the bait, to make you look like the crazy one, to get you in a situation where then people turn away from you and will not support you. And I don't want you folks not to support me because these guys, have triggered me. And, so I have to just take it. I have to eat it. No matter what they say about my wife or my daughter or my kids or me, I have to eat it. I have to just take it. Right. And I will. And I'll continue to do that. That's fine because I know, you know, it is what it is. But that's what they do. That's what they do here in the city of Yonkers, you know. And so to individuals that work for the city of Yonkers, don't do the things that they ask you to do. They're going around taking down the signs that CJ's parents have put up. They're asking for justice for CJ and they're going around taking them out. But they won't do that to the elected official signs. They'll leave them there for months on end, littering the community. Corazon was putting them on mailboxes and on every tree you can find on South Broadway. But if you put up a sign that is asking for justice for a 16-year-old boy who was killed by a drunk driver who it appears was allowed to, detox a bit before being arrested, they take those signs out. And so they're going to continue because what we've learned and what we're learning is that consistency is key. We're going to be, we'll be persistent. We'll continue. And you can shut down my daycare if you want, but that won't stop me. As long as I have a voice, as long as I have a mind, as long as I have access to the internet, I will continue to do what I do, basement politics. So that's not the best solution. I don't think that's the best strategy for you guys. I think the best strategy is just to say, you know what, maybe we should discuss what the issue is here. Maybe we should clean up Yonkers for real. You want to put these buildings up? Well, look at the garbage that's being posted online by people in Yonkers about other people in Yonkers. Unfortunately, though, I hear that, that's the work of individuals coming out of, over at the city clerk's office. And they don't have any morals, any boundaries, any ethical, moral compass at all. And so they're very disgusting. But, that's what they were doing. They're doing it to other people. They've attacked other people. And so they're taking the signs down. I hear that it's DPW workers. But so guys, please don't do that. Don't be disrespectful like that. Record these guys asking you for stuff. Record them. Capture them on video to all the good guys out there. And I know people say, well, if they stay quiet, they're not good guys. It's not easy. It's not easy. You got to feed a family and stuff. So I'm not can't hold that against people. You really can't. It's a tough situation, but we're really fighting back. Record these individuals saying things, doing things, and send them over to Basement Politic, politicwithfred@gmail.com. If they know they're going to be recorded, whether it be video or audio, they'll think twice. To some of you guys are being harassed, putting people's names out there, to try and say, oh, look, this is one of your sources, Freddy, Jay Cooper, you know who I'm talking about. They don't like when I do these podcasts. They hate when I do these podcasts, especially when I connect the money. And so they're putting, some individuals in DPW, they're putting them, in a situation where it's a hostile work environment. They're making it uncomfortable for them. One of the DPW employees had his car towed from the employee parking lot because they want to mess with him. They wanted to give him a hard time. Right. And so, it's unfortunate that that's happening. This guy was fired. They fired this guy because he had an issue with Tom Tiedeman's son, Tommy Jr. This is not okay. I feel bad for this guy. And so he recorded the guy snorting coke, I hear. It's got the video. We got, and and so he had an issue with him with that. They got into some fight. They fired this guy. He was getting good money, but they were harassing him from the get-go. and he became suicidal. He wanted to kill himself because he lost his job for no reason. The deputy commissioner's son messing with people who people say doesn't do anything, but he's the deputy commissioner's son. He can get away with fucking with people. Let's just excuse my language, because he's Tommy T's son. And so the guy became suicidal. Fortunately, before he killed himself, Tommy T, his mom let people know. And they spoke to Lenny Spano. Lenny Spano brought him back because Lenny Spano said, yo, if this guy kills himself because we fired him out of retaliation, this could be a big thing because we're doing this to a lot of people. We're firing them, sending them to the IMA shrink so we can get negative reports to fire them. Enough is enough. Record them. They want to sit you down and threaten you verbally, or in an indirect way, record them doing it. They want to send you to go do something you don't want to do, record them saying it. Protect yourself. Truth is what liars fear, right? The dark fears light. Let's bring it to light. Who are these individuals that are forcing you to go out there and campaign and bring a check to a campaign or knock on doors to get petitions? Or you may get fired. Start recording them. Start getting them on video, audio. And stop messing with that guy. So now he's back. They brought him back with less money than he was making before, just so he wouldn't kill himself and they wouldn't have that on their hands. They're making his life miserable so he'll quit on his own. They torture people, and they're trying to do that to me, I guess, with Brian Harry. I don't know. They think whatever they say is bothering me. I'm a house, folks, I'm a house husband. What else did they say about me? I'm a house husband, okay? I'm a house husband, yes. I'm home all day, right? And so they try to drive you mad, but it's not going to work, for me anyway. But it does affect people. Other people, it does. And that's not okay. So stop doing what they tell you. Record them. Don't take down the signs for CJ. Maybe some of you support Steven. I get that. But 16-year-old boy died. It's not cool. Let the law work out the way it works out, but don't have people, help. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these folks, come on. They got to have a moral compass. You have to, have some kind of empathy. You have to be a human. You have to be human for a little bit, Be human, And the dude you're talking about certainly went to the IMA clinic for a failing grade long before he actually became suicidal, right? I just want to say that. He wasn't suicidal. It was when they did this to him and he found that's it. My life is ruined. I lost my career. What am I going to do? Right? Wave of a wand and he's back to work, rightfully so. Why no wave of the wand back to work for Anthony? Huh? No wave of the wand back to work. And folks, before I go, one last thing. I hear that John Rubbo, I hear that the mayor's and distancing himself from you. I hear that John Rubbo may be having some tax issues. I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds like it could be something criminal, right? And I heard that Moranti may have been his accountant. I heard that Moranti was a lot of people's accountant that are in the city, but I don't know if that's true all the way. I don't want to say for sure, or but that's what I heard. Mr. Tax helped, but I hear that the mayor has distanced himself or is distancing himself from John Rubbo over some tax issues. Is it because he got over $300,000 in PPP loans and didn't retain his employees? And not only did he not retain them, he didn't pay them. They had to sue him in federal court. And so the federal government say, wait a minute, we gave you $300,000 in PPP loan, John Rubbo, and now you're being sued by your employees for not paying them? John, what did you do with the money? And then you're on video yourself, John. You said yourself you had to let a bunch of people go. It was only like you and one other person. So who did you retain? Now you have to retain an attorney, right? So instead, John, I believe, used the PPP money to renovate the Yonkers Brewing Company. And so now they want the taxes for that because you used that money for personal use. You can't go around using taxpayer money for free to renovate your business. So is that what triggered some kind of, investigation into John Rubbo because his company received this money? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out because I'm hearing he's having tax trouble and now he's not going to be deputy mayor because of it. And now the mayor's trying to distance himself from John Rubbo, doesn't want any connections there. So if I hear something like that, that sounds criminal. Oh, John Rubbo. Is it something with a perfect solution? That would be so ironic. The irony that you would name a company to launder money and you would call it a perfect solution, but it wasn't.
Mr. Rubbo lied to me, and I don't vote for the person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some butter chicken. So thank you.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.
Oh, man, the irony. It's not a perfect solution, John Rubbo Consulting, Inc. Is that how you launder money? AMS money to do their bidding? Oh, I can't wait because I'm going to be receiving some information that's been investigated deeply by investigators, and I'm going to be presenting it to you folks. I can't wait. A lot of information is going out to federal agencies as we speak, audio, video, documentation. I mean, I don't know if the feds are going to come and swoop anybody up, but if they are doing their job, they just might, and we just might see it in our lifetime. That's just what I'm hearing, folks. I do know personally, though, that they are looking into Yonkers. I don't know what specifically. They did some stuff over at DPW already. Will John flip? Will John talk? Shake them down. That's how they got Al Capone. Taxes, man. Got to pay the taxes. Ay, bendito.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You and I would be the experts. If it were on hot dogs, yes. You and I would be the experts. If it were on hot dogs, yes.
Freddy.
No!
Fatality.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I want
benefit you because he doesn't cover. He only talks trash.
I'm hoping that this is not true, Sandy. I know you have a lot of women that work in your office. And I was also told that you favor some over others. I'm hoping that this is not true, Sammy.
Sure that my competition, the guy who always talks about me and say, awful things about me, he will not have a problem, guys.
Freddy.
No!
Fatality.
Have a good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you for watching and supporting Basement Politics. Please make sure you share the show, share the podcast, let a friend know. And by the way, if anyone's having an event and you'd like me to attend, let me know about it. I will gladly come. I'm hearing that some people are saying that Freddy Vazquez is not coming around. He's not around. I'm in the community. That's where I'm at. I'm doing the work. But if you'd like me to come to the event so we can sit there and chat it up, I'm more than willing to come. Just make sure you have some fresh refreshments, coffee maybe, a couple donuts, bagel, something, and we can chat it up. let me know what it is that you like to discuss. Or if you're having an event to talk about things that are important to you, let me know. I like to know. But I'm always available to come to these events. It's not that I don't want to go, it's just that I don't know. So please make sure you email me at politicwithfred@gmail.com or info@freddyformayor.com, info@freddyformayor.com or politicwithfred@gmail.com. Send me the invite, let me know. Thank you. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Have a beautiful night.
Freddy.